Good. All right, Shalom. All right, Shalom. We are the Hebrew Israelites. We come out every week to prophesy the downfall of this wicked kingdom. As you can clearly see from all the things that's happening around the world and the austerity measures that's being put in place and draconian rules and policies. But before we do that, before we go into some doctrine and some scriptures, I want to give all praise to the Most High and His Son in the true Hebrew. So we're going to say, Kal, Halayim,
La,
Yahweh,
Bahashem,
Yahushai,
Bahashem, Ha,
Rakah,
Kodash,
Ma'amah. All right, double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders, and shalom to you, Akim, and Akwatim, and children that believe in sincerity around the four corners of the earth. I think what we're going to go into today, the focus is going to be Yoke-Fellows. All right, Yoke-Fellows, man. And that's what we are. That's what we are in this truth. We're Yoke-Fellows. Now, all week you've been hearing a lot of brothers talk about they got brothers now. Before they were by themselves, but now they got brothers in this truth. You know what I mean? And you'll hear all the apostles and different brothers talking about their pages getting taken down. Right? You got YouTube censoring the videos, censoring the truth, especially the Bible. So they got this whole pandemic situation that they're using to bring more draconian measures on the people through what they call mandates, which is not law. All right, so basically all hell is about to break loose, man. All right, and it's at the door. So I'm gonna get some scriptures, and hopefully it'll be encouraging to any brothers out there to keep pushing. And if you're not pushing, get your ass off the sideline and do the work. You know, and come under the yoke of Yahushai, man. Stop being under the yoke of the world. All right. So let's start with Matthew 28 and 18. Let's see what we got there. Matthew 28 and 18. Before we get it, launch it off.
Matthew chapter 28, verse 18.
Yep. We're gonna go all the way to 20.
Right? No, I think I'm in Salaki. And Yahushua came and spoke.
He got it. Yeah, he got it.
Okay, come on. And Yahushua came and spoke unto them, saying, all power was given unto me in heaven and in earth.
Right.
Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Ghost.
There you go. So this is the command that Yahushua told us to do before he got crucified. All right. He told us. He said he has all power in heaven and in earth, meaning he's given the green light from Yahweh to give us the message and the prophecies to come, and to anoint the most holy of our people, what's called the elect today. Now, go ahead. Yep.
Teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you.
Right. So we're supposed to teach our people to observe all things that he commanded us to keep, man. All right. And one of those are especially the prophecies and keeping the laws to the best of your ability, and following the holy days, praying to the Father. He told us how to pray. He told us how to be brotherly to one another. All right? And that's the spirit you're supposed to be in right now. And that's being under the yoke of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Go ahead, brother. Over to the end of that.
And lo, I am with you always, even until the end of the world.
Whoa. So the Lord said, see, before he went up to the Father, he said, yo, he was going to send his spirit. And his spirit was going to be with us forever. He was going to be with us until the end of the world, man. To the end of this age. All right, so the Lord is still with us today in the spirit of truth. Okay?
Come on,
yeah, go ahead.
It's Revelation chapter 1, verse 3. Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand.
Right, for the time of what? The end of the age, the end of Esau's rulership, and the time of Jacob's salvation. All right, for them to get that penny that they all invested for, that the Lord promised us, that token, all right, the token of salvation. Now, he said what? Blessed is he that readeth. What does the word blessed mean? The word blessed is barak. It means to be favored. Like you have your shoes, that you have your favorite pair of shoes. So to be favored, the Lord saying that person is blessed. That's in the truth. All right, so the Lord favored you and gave you his truth and chose you to wake up in these times, man. All right. Matthew 20 and 1. Yeah, whoever get it first. Matthew 20 and 1.
I thought you were finna grab my back.
No, you good. Yeah, this is.
This is the book of Matthew,
Okay.
chapter 20, verse 1.
You got it.
For the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is a householder, which went out early in the morning to hire laborers into his vineyard.
Right. So now, okay, this is going to the parable of the vineyard and the laborers. Okay, we know the vineyard when it talks about in the scriptures, it's talking about the children of Israel. All right. And what did the Lord say? He said, "What? Go not into the way of the Gentiles, but go into the lost sheep of the house of Israel." You see that? So that's the vineyard. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Verse 2.
And when Yahushua showed up, who did he start it off with? He started it off with Abba Bivens, or who you would call John the Baptist or Elijah. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 2. And we had agreed,
A little more power, brother.
and we had agreed with the laborers for a penny a day. He sent them into his vineyard.
Right, so the Lord agreed with a penny a day. Meaning he's going to give you what? He said, what's the word? What's the scripture? He said, sufficient unto the day. The evil thereof. Yeah. All right, basically saying our daily bread. All right, so he's going to give you a certain amount of wisdom and anointing every day, man, while you're doing this work. All the way into the kingdom. So that penny represents the kingdom of salvation. All right, so he agreed with each brother 2,000 years ago for a penny. Meaning what? For the kingdom. All right, go ahead.
Verse 3. And he went out about the third hour and saw others standing idle in the marketplace.
Right, so what was that? That was when Yahushua came on the scene and he woke up Peter and Paul and sent them out to who? The Gentiles, the Israelites that were scattered. All right, to wake them up. Go ahead.
Verse 4. And said unto them, Go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right I will give you. And they went their way.
See that happened 2,000 years ago. They were called the disciples. Okay, they went their ways all the way to the 7 churches of Asia Minor. All right, go ahead, keep going.
Verse 5. Again he went out about the 6th and 9th hour and did likewise.
Right, so that was this right here. We'll be talking about people like Abba Bivens, all right, and Masha, King Masha, all the way down to Apostle Tahar. Go ahead.
Verse 6. And about the 11th hour he went out and found others standing idle,
There you go.
and said unto them, Why stand ye here all the day idle?
That's right. That's when the word got spread on YouTube. Okay. All right, keep going.
Verse 7. They say unto him, Because no man hath hired us, he hath said unto them, Go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right, that shall ye receive.
Right, a little low, brother.
A little low?
Yeah,
All
a
right,
little
let's start
low.
over, verse.
Yeah, that last verse.
All right, verse 7. They say unto him, Because no man hath hired us, he saith unto them, Go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right, that shall ye receive.
Right, and that started with who? Abba Bivens, Yaquab, King Masha, and all the other prophets that came out of that school, all the way up until Apostle Tahar. But then you had a split that happened in that school, right? You had, just like you have today, you see the ITRs, you see the Sakaris, you see the split that's happening, you see the IUIC. But when that school, you had people like, what's his name, Fopi? He stopped teaching for some years. What's the other guy name, man? Damn, man, Yashawan. Yashawan?
Yashawan.
Yeah, that's what they call him, Elder Yashawan, or something like that. I think that's his name. But and then you got Lahab, right? All these little people like Yohana and them, they all not doing it correctly, and a lot of them stopped teaching. All right, a lot of them stopped teaching. They stopped going out to the streets. All right, so they turned their back on the Lord. You know. All right, go ahead.
Verse 8.
Yeah, come on, bring that power, brother.
So when even was come, the Lord of the vineyard said unto his steward, Call
Right.
the laborers
Go ahead.
and give them their hire.
Right, so now the laborers are about to get their hire. And that hire is what? The salvation or the kingdom. All right, to receive the reward of salvation. All right, that's the hire. Go ahead.
And give them their hire, beginning from the last unto the first.
Okay, keep going. Oh, that was it?
All the way to what?
All the way to the 10th.
All right. This is verse 9. And when they came, they were hired about the 11th hour.
All right, brother, peace.
they received every man a penny.
Right, and that penny is the promise of the kingdom. So each brother, it doesn't matter when you come into this truth. All right, you just got to get out there and do the work. You know, and that's just it. You got to have faith that the Lord and pray for mercy. You see that? And continue to do the work. He said what? Seek him 10 times more. And when you go out and teach, I'm trying to receive the same thing you're going to receive. It don't matter when you came into the truth. You know, we all going to get that same reward, which is the kingdom of salvation, of new bodies, being made righteous. Okay, that's the token. All right, go ahead.
Verse 10. But when the first came, they supposed that they should have received more.
Right, so you got people that was in the truth before, in the old school, and that stopped teaching, that turned their back. And you got some proud people that call themselves elders now, you know? But go ahead.
And they likewise received every man a penny.
Right, so, but bottom line, everybody's going to receive that same penny. You see that? We are going to receive that same salvation. So that's why in this camp, you know, we teach that it's about who get to the water first. It's not about a stack, meaning you on the top and we on the bottom. It's about who gets to the water first, and now I'm going to teach you how to drink it. You see that? So we all going to get that same water. We all going to get to that kingdom. Yahweh Ratazah. All right? But that's why we follow after the true elder, Apostle Tahar. On down. That was it, all the 10? Yeah, go ahead, brother. So that's what we're talking about, fellow laborers and Yoke-Fellows. And the Lord say what? Rest with us, man.
This is Luke chapter 12, verse 42.
Right.
And the Lord said, who then is that faithful and wise steward, whom his Lord shall make ruler over his household, to give him their portion of meat in due season?
Right.
Blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find him doing. Of the truth, I say unto you that he will make him ruler over all he hath.
Right, he said meat in due season, right? And he said, this is my meat to do the will of the Father. You see that? So give you your what? A blessing to continue in this truth. All right? And he said what? Be instant in season and out of season. And when it's your time to teach, the Lord will he'll come in and sup with you and build you up and make you ready. All right? You'll be a new creature. You'll be winning battles in the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. You're standing with your brothers. And now that we looking back in hindsight, you can see where the sluggers were, the slackers, the scoffers, the ones that claim to be in the truth, and they walk up to you now and be like, Shalom, Israel. And they got the damn the cuffs on their wrists, the gauntlets. You know, and you'd be like, yo, who the hell is this dude? He got gray hairs and shit, but who the hell? They be like, yeah, I used to teach at the old school. That shit don't matter. These brothers just came into the truth. I respect them more than a person that turned their back on the Lord. You know, the scripture say not respect not the gray hair.
Gray hairs.
Yeah. All right. So it's about the work.
And also,
It's about the doctrine. All right.
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4, verse 8. For honorable age is not that which standeth in length of time, nor that the measure of number of years. But wisdom in the gray hairs unto men, and unspotted life is old age. So basically, it don't have nothing to do with how you look. You might have a whole bunch of grays in your hair, but that doesn't mean you have wisdom. That could mean you just had a hard life, or that could be just hereditary. But the gray hairs of spiritual gray hairs come from wisdom, and you out here doing the work. All right, if a job's not complete, it doesn't matter what you did in the past if the job's not finished. It's what you're going to continue to do to complete that job.
Right. What do they say? What? Let no man despise thy youth.
Time.
All right. So you come into this truth, man. Just keep pushing. Keep doing the work, and you're fighting for the same goal, the kingdom. That's the focus. All right. That's what makes us fellow laborers, being in the spirit of Yahweh Shai.
All right. This is St. John chapter 4. 1. It says, in the meanwhile, his disciples prayed him, saying, Master, eat. But he said unto them, I have meat to eat that ye know not of.
Right.
Therefore said the disciples one to another, have any man brought him aught to eat? Yahweh Shai said unto them, My meat is to do the will of him that sent me and finish his work.
There you go. All right, so that's the meat that he was talking about. Okay, to give you an increase in due season, for the Lord to increase you in this truth, man. All right, he said to those that have, they're gonna have more. The ones that don't have, they're gonna what? It's gonna be taken from them, even that they have. But if you're in this truth and you're studying and you're doing the work, the Lord gonna continue to increase you in this truth. All right, you're gonna become a master at your craft. All right, and, amongst the Yoke-Fellows, we're all pushing around the world, going through hell on this earth, affliction, adversity. I heard Apostle Gabar talking about it earlier. Physical ailments. You know, all we want is deliverance right now. So it's all about being Yoke-Fellows. And they got YouTube censoring videos, taking down videos, you know, controlling what you can watch and what you can't watch. And you got all kind of racist Edomites on the internet that be going in. They got like 85,000 views in 1 hour, and they be talking about all kind of shit about sodomy. You know, they go against it too, but they be, you know, the other shit. You know, shit that go in your arm.
Accelerated retroviral detox.
Yeah, that right there. All right, with the pandemic. So, yeah. Let me get Matthew 22:1.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 22, verse 1.
Yep.
And it says, and Yahushua answered and spake unto them again by parables and said.
Right, so this is all about parables, mysteries, allegories. All right, and that's been revealed to us through who? Yahushua. So if you're in this truth, man, you should be thankful. All right, because that's the Lord having mercy on you, man. All right, we're gonna go all the way to 14. Hey, you need to move in the sun? You know this. Yeah, cool. All right, cool. Let me know.
It says, this is verse 2. It says, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king which made a marriage for his son and went forth his servants to call them that were bidden to the wedding, and they would not come.
Right, because that's what the word Yoke-Fellows mean. To be married together. All right, to be joined together. That's what the word Yoke-Fellows mean. And Yahushua, he's the first of us, man, that did the work. All right, so we're yoked together with him. Keep going, brother.
Verse 4. Again he sent forth other servants, saying, tell them which are bidden, behold, I have prepared my dinner, my oxen and my fatlings are killed.
Right, so everything's prepared. That's why this is like a big feast. He said this is a love feast, agape. Right, means a love feast. It's a big meal. He said what? Psalms 23, real quick, somebody. Table. Yeah, Psalm 23.
This
All right.
Psalm chapter 23. What verse?
What's this say? Like the table.
I'm just starting.
Verse 5.
Verse 5.
Verse 5,
Thou,
right, so
verse 5. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies.
Wow.
Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over.
That's right.
Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
There you go, man. All right. So he said what? His cup runneth over. You know. And he said what? He preparing the table for us in the presence of our enemies. You see that? And we're scattered around the world, and the scriptures say the wicked are surrounding us on every side.
The world life and wickedness.
The world life and wickedness. That's right.
You get that.
Yep. Now what? He said what? The table? They preparing the table for us in the presence of our enemy. Now, let's get back to that. The fatlings and all that. That's why he called this scripture, he called it the meat. All right, he called it the water, the wine, the oil, the bread. And this is a feast. All right, of the Lamb, Yahushua. Let's get it, brother.
All right. Back at the book of Matthew, chapter 22, verse 4.
Right, but my bad. But now, when you're a babe and you're new to this truth, you're supposed to deal with what? The milk, and then go up to the meat. All right, when you're able to feed yourself and digest it correctly, you know, and able to feed others. But as a babe, you have to be administered the milk. You know, go ahead, brother. Yep, the small precepts and basic doctrine, man.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 28. I'm going to start at verse 9. It says, whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk, and drawn from the breast.
There you go. There you go, man. You got to be weaned from it, man. You can't just, go off into a whim. And that's why it takes patience, man. When you first start teaching, you go out and you teach the basics. You teach that about Israel. You teach about the destruction that's going to come, the Lord's judgment. But after a while, you're going to go into the mysteries and the parables. And that's what the Lord talking about right here in this book of Matthew we read. Go ahead, brother. He said a parable. All right, the doctrine, the meat.
Back at the book of Matthew, chapter 22, verse 4. Again, he sent forth other servants, saying, tell them which are bidden, behold, I have prepared my dinner. My oxen and my fatlings are killed.
Right, the Lord saying everything ready for you, The Lord looking for kings. He's looking for soldiers. And he said everything's ready. He prepared it for us. Ain't that something? Go ahead, brother.
And all things are ready. Coming to the marriage, verse 5, but they made light of it and went their ways, one to his farm, another one to his merchandise.
Right, those are the ones that went back into the world, that claim to be from the old school or even from the new school. A lot of people that you saw teaching, then they disappeared, then they just popped back up. Like Apostle Hart said, that's between them and the Lord. And that goes into the parable of the 10 virgins. They took not the oil with them. You see that? All right, go ahead.
Verse 6. And the remnant took his servants and entreated them spitefully and slew them.
Right, that happened all the way back in 2,000 years ago when they killed the prophet John. The Lord was like, yo, you already killed Elijah. All right? And look how they're treating our, they want to kill us today. It's like spiritual killing. You see that? Go ahead, brother.
Verse 7. But when the king heard thereof, he was wroth, and he sent forth his armies and destroyed those murderers and burned up their city.
That's right, man. Go ahead.
Verse 8.
That happened in 770 AD. All right, the Most High got mad, and he sent then Esau to destroy the temple. Okay? Go ahead.
Verse 8. Then saith he
We might move
to his servants,
Go back.
the wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy.
They killed that woman. So he said what? He said those that were bidden were not worthy, man. All right, so that's the point. He said they're not fit for the kingdom. The ones that were bidden, they were called first, and they turned back into the world, and they live off their pride and their ego. They feel like they've done enough work. But when you got new brothers getting in this truth, they on fire. They in the spirit, they excited, and it's always good to see that. It's a reminder of when you first got into the truth. And you can kind of relearn from that instead of hating on them. You got any more on that?
All right, so I'll go to verse 14.
Yeah, let's go down to 14. All right. Yeah, let's back up some of that.
All right.
Let's kill some of that cold air. Let's get this. Yeah, that's right. All right. Yeah, where we at?
Hey, y'all lift up your voice a little bit too, because that wind cutting out some of the volume on our voices.
All right, come. All right, this is the book of Matthew 22, verse 9. Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as ye shall find, bid to the marriage.
All right, so what he said, go out to the highways and the byways. Now you got a lot of cats that in the past, they used to be standing on the physical highway and shit. Talking to the cars as they go by. That even flew under the radar. But he said what? Go out to the highways and the byways, okay? All right. And what's another highway? You got the information highway. It's called the internet. So you put your lessons online, man. Anywhere where it's traffic, people, not cars, but people. All right, keep going, bro.
Con.
Oh, you got it.
Verse.
Yeah.
Oh, he got a precept real quick.
All right, this is Proverbs 1:20. It says, wisdom cried without, she uttered her voice in the streets. She cried in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gate.
Right. Not opening the church, and not opening the 501c3 charter like IUIC or GOCC, and they'll say, hey, meet me at this temple, and we'll teach you there. You can join my church. You got to pay to get in and shit. Bring your wife. You know? All right, let's get it.
So-
We handing out chicken dinners at 4 o'clock. They don't say to do that. The Lord said you're supposed to, and we're not supposed to be trying to set up a community. You know, this whole unity camp BS.
Because think about it. Why would you set up a community in a corrupt system that the Lord's finna destroy? Because what is that going to do? It's going to destroy that community. Because that's what you try to. That's what you get for trying to build things carnally. You're going to get carnal results.
Right.
Right, which the ultimate result is these missiles, man. That's why he's telling us to build New Jerusalem spiritually.
That's right. And build upon the rock and not sand.
And going back to what the elder was saying earlier, in 70 AD, the Lord got angry and sent the men to sent Esau in to destroy the temples. Why? Because they were cherishing the physical temples and weren't cherishing the spiritual temples, which being us as a people. That's what the Lord was trying to teach us. But no, they were creating traditions of men inside these temples that were built by the hands of man, but wasn't seeing the bigger picture in the parabolic scheme that Yahushua was trying to teach them.
Right, man. Right. And that'd be robbing from Yahushua. Yahushua said he's going to rebuild us. He's going to gather us in the spirit and send his angels out to gather us. All right. So let's keep going. Let me know if you got precepts too. All right. So wisdom cries without in the streets. Start from that last verse you was at.
Verse 9.
Yep.
This is the book of Matthew 22, verse 9. Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as ye shall find, bid to the marriage.
Right.
Verse 10. So those servants went out into the highways and gathered together all as many as they found,
Right, man.
both bad and good.
Yeah, kind. Because even now, you're going to meet some people. You're going to meet a lot of brothers that claim to be brothers. But then later on, you find out that there was devils in sheep's clothing, that there was wolves in sheep's clothing. All right, it's going to happen, man. You know, a lot of camps split. You know, a lot of people stop teaching. A lot of people change the doctrine. A lot of people become scoffers. All right, go ahead.
This is Isaiah chapter 34, verse 16.
Right, so the Lord making a division.
It says, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail, none shall want her mate.
Right, so you can go to any other book, the Quran, Keeping the Gas, Jehovah's Witness Bible. What else they got?
Mormon.
The Book of Mormon, the Book of Beyonce, Kanye,
Yeah, Jesus.
Jesus, yeah. You can go to any book you want. Philosopher Stone and shit. What's his name? Nostradamus. Any books you want. It's not going to be a prophetic and righteous book as the Holy Scriptures. All right, none shall want her mate, man. At the end of the day, this is the one you want.
Okay. Isaiah 34 and 16. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail, none shall want her mate. For my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them.
There you go, man. So his mouth have commanded. He already commanded it. So his spirit is already gathering. We in the process of it, man. Amos 9 and 8. Or Amos chapter 9, where it say the sift. That's the spirit. That's the sift. That's sifting the wicked out and purifying the elect. Right? Keeping the pure grain. You see that? Same way he filtered us out in the wilderness coming out of Egypt. And filtered out the wicked ones. The Lord is filtering out of this Egypt and this wilderness through the spirit. A spiritual sifting. All right? And it's going to be more of a majority that get destroyed instead of a minority that gets delivered. A majority that get delivered. He say, this world was made for many, but the world to come is made for few. All right? Though Israel be as the sand of the sea, only a remnant shall be saved. All right? 2/3, man, compared to 1/3. Go ahead, brother.
It's Ezekiel 20 and 38. And I will purge out from among you the rebels and them that transgress against me. I will bring them forth out of the countries where they sojourn. They shall not enter into the land of Israel, and ye shall know that I am the Lord.
Right, man. So that happened during the time of Egypt, like I just said, and also it's coming up soon. The Lord is purging. All right, he's purging out the what? The wicked. All right, and he's keeping the most righteous out of the people. All right, he said what? What's that? The Matthew? Sheep on the left, the goats on the right. Okay, so that's what's happening right now. You got to choose your side, man. You can't be lukewarm. You want to get that? You know,
I got 8.
Lukewarm.
let's get lukewarm instead. Yeah. Amos 9 and 8. Yeah, let's chill on the Amos 9 and 8. I've been bringing that out all week. Like 4 times a week. Yeah, was it lukewarm? Yeah.
This is Revelation chapter 3, verse 15. I know thy works, that thou art neither hot or cold. I would thou were cold or hot. So then, because thou art lukewarm, and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth.
Right, if you're hearing this and you ain't doing the work, you should feel like shit. But he said, yo, he wants you to be cold or hot. He's like, yo, make up your mind, man. You see that? He's like, make up your Howard Shah talking. He said, I know your works. I know what you're doing. So do something so he can account you for it when he shows up. He said, I would rather you be cold or hot so I could choose what to do with your silly ass. Am I going to destroy you or am I going to bless you? All right? You know, you got to make your choice, man.
And you got individuals just because they get on the Facebook or Facebook or YouTube and make comments. You might even be making righteous comments, but a lot of times people feel like that's doing the work. Or you might speak to individuals at your job, or I encounter people face to face every day. So that's me doing the work. That's not how the Lord set it up to do the work.
Right.
The Lord said you're gonna stand on the battlegrounds and fight like a true soldier. And that's how he set it up. The front line, infantry. This is the infantry right here.
Right, man. He said, gather unto your brethren.
Con.
Hey, that's a reason for that. You got to be gathered.
I just had an epiphany real quick. Ephesians, it says, husbands love their wives as thyself. What is it talking about? The love for the church, man.
Right.
This shows the love to the wife, just like we're supposed to be Yahweh Shai speaking to his wife, the elect of Israel.
What does church mean?
That's what church means, the called out.
Called out. Not called out of the back room to the front room and you staying on the damn internet all day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Or not called to the pulpit.
Yeah, man. Good, bro.
This is Proverbs chapter 11, verse 1. A false balance is abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight.
Right. Now, a lot of people bring this out dealing with social issues. This is really talking about money. All right? Money is a false, like these taxes or the dollar itself, that's a false balance to the Lord. Or the Bitcoin and all this shit that's going on. But you can look at it spiritually as well as a false balance, meaning, yo, make up your mind. That's more, a more scripture would have been like, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. That's right. And the Lord said, don't come unto him double-minded.
All
right? So look at that one. Oh, you got to get something? Sure? All right. Yeah, we'll get it. Light bulbs going off. Let's get that one real quick. Yeah.
All right, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 22, verse 10. So those servants went out into the highways and gathered together all as many as they found, both bad and good, and the wedding was furnished with guests.
Right, man, so they gathering bad and good. You know, and the Lord is furnishing the wedding with guests, man. And out of those guests, he's going to filter and choose which ones he want to keep. Many are called, but few are going to be chosen. All right? So a lot of them, the ones that call themselves elders, they were called, but they didn't finish building. They stopped teaching. You know? But you'll see them, Elder Cornell, all these people got pages now, making money off the word, all kind of stuff. Got merchandise and shit. You know? Go ahead, brother.
I got a quick piece up.
Yeah, let's launch it off. Let's get it.
All right, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 25.
31.
God.
Right. Go ahead.
They say, when the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory.
Right, so is Yahweh Shai gonna show up by himself? No. He's gonna have the holy angels with him. Go ahead.
Verse 32, and before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another.
Right, so the Lord is gathering all nations and he's gonna separate everybody one from another. All right?
As a sheep, as a shepherd divided his sheep from the goats.
Right, man, so the shepherd look over the sheep and they know how to filter through their sheep, man. They know their flock. All right? And the sheep only answer to that one voice of the shepherd. You know?
And those are going to be the sheep that are found without blemish. How do you be found without blemish? How do you cleanse yourself? Through the Holy Spirit. Because the Lord is judging the spirit. And if your spirit ain't right, if you're double-minded on wavering on either side, man, he's going to see that. And he's going to cast you to the side with the ghosts.
That's right, man. That's right, brother. That's right. Even if people claim to be teaching, but they're not doing it right. You know, pulling guns on people and shit, beating people up. You know,
The weapons of our warfare are not carnal.
the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, man. All right, keep going, brother.
All right, verse 33. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left.
Right, and this is spiritual. That's a parable. All right, he's saying he's gonna put you in your lot on the right, or he's gonna put you in your lot with the wicked on the left. He's gonna count you your number. He's gonna number you with the wicked. You know, if you stay in that weak ass mindset of not wanting to teach, worrying about your damn self, you need to these people need to get their ass up and show some compassion and empathy for everybody else, for the Lord's sheep. That's why you're here. You know, if you got the truth, that means you're able to be healed. And you should have it in you to want to heal others. All right.
Oh, okay.
You got something?
Yeah.
All right, I think he's getting an injection.
All right, this is Revelation chapter 22, verse 1. And he showed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of Yahweh and of the Lamb.
That's wisdom. All right, go ahead.
In the midst of the street of it, and of either side of the river, was there a tree of life, which bare 12 manner of fruits, and yielded her fruits every month. And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations.
Right. And that 12 manner of fruit represents the 12 tribes of Israel. And that's talking about who? The elect. The elect out of those the 144,000, and they're going to help to heal the rest of this nation. All right, Israel that's scattered around the four corners of the earth. And that goes into Revelation 7. Innumerable multitude.
You want to get it?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
You got it?
Revelation 7.
Yeah, the innumerable multitude. It speaks about 12,000 from each tribe. We know that.
Verse 9.
Yep.
All right, this is Revelation chapter 7, verse 9. After this, I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands,
Yep.
and cried with a loud voice, saying, Salvation to our God which sitteth upon the throne.
Oh, you already read it in the innumerable multitude?
Yeah, come on,
Okay,
it's like
Yep, that's that innumerable multitude, okay? You ain't gonna be able to number it, but it's gonna average out to 1/3 of a nation of Israel. Let's go back to verse 4 real quick, Kodash. 7 and 4.
Verse 4, and I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of children of Israel.
There you go, man. All right. So that's 144,000 and the 1/3 right there. All right. So where was that? You got one more, and then we'll get the cards too. All right.
All right, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 2, verse 42. It says, I, Ezra, saw upon the Mount Zion a great people whom I could not number, and they all praised the Lord with songs. In the midst of them there was a young man of a high stature, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly. So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, These are they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of Yahweh. Now are they crowned and receive palms.
All right, man. All right. So that's there you go, right there, man. That's the salvation. That's what we're fighting for. That's the token or the penny. All right, that we're hoping to receive, which is salvation and getting that crown on the top of our head. All right, and that innumerable multitude, the 10 tribes. Yeah, basically all 12 right here, basically, man. All right, the innumerable multitude that was scattered around the four corners of the earth. That's why we call Israel a speckled bird, according to the scriptures. A little bit more on that? All right, go ahead.
All right, verse 46, it said, Then said I unto the angel, What young person is that crowneth them, and giveth them palms in their hand? He answered and said unto me, It is the Son of Yahweh, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Yeah, so basically, stood so stiffly, meaning stayed 10 toes down, stayed firm in the truth. Never wavered, never had a double mind, never quit, never gave up. All right, continue with patience and endurance and in faith all the way to the end. That's how you get your reward. Not feeling like you've done enough. Like the scriptures say, don't say because the harvest is not near that you've done that you don't need to work. You need to work in season and out of season.
Right. We got harvest. Yeah, I'm gonna get that one. Harvest. Okay, yeah, good.
This is 2 Timothy chapter 4, just to back up the brother Canuck, verse 2. It says, preach the word, be instant in season, out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. So we must
Go ahead. My bad.
So we must be instant in season, out of season, meaning we must be ready to go at a moment's notice. When the Most High put the Spirit on us, or just any time in general, we must be ready to teach, act to teach, ready to preach the word of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua.
Right, and what is it called? Preparation. Hey, what does it mean? Preparation meets opportunity. All right? Hey, yeah, we out here to do the Lord's work, y'all, you know? Make sure we're on point.
Speak some more down a little bit.
God, this says reprove and rebuke, meaning issue correction, show our people the error of their ways so that they can correct them, and we be a help and or a guide to the right path so that they can continue to correct their wrong ways. You know, and exhort, meaning build our people up as well, with all long suffering, patience, and doctrine, meaning we go according to the scriptures. We don't add to it, we don't take away from it.
Quick interjection real quick. It says instant in season and out of season. Like if you're dealing with fruits and agriculture, it's certain seeds that you can't plant during certain times of the year. But the seed of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua, you plant at all times of the year. So in season and out of season. All right, you never stop. You don't take no times off. Like we gotta break the fallow ground. We don't need to let this ground rest. We've already had our rest period. All right, now it's time to do the work and plant the seeds and gather the fruits.
Right. Yeah. I mean, when it's cold, when it's not, when it's hot, whatever the temperature is, man, you supposed to have your ass out here. Let's get it, yo. Go ahead.
This is 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 14. It says, but continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and hast been assured of.
Right. That's a cut on IUIC. Yeah. They got videos out there of Nate, their leader, calling on the name of Yahweh, and then now years later he called on Jesus. So that's a double-minded man. And he said, what? Continuing the things which thou hast learned, man. All right, go ahead.
It says, knowing of whom thou hast learned them.
Right. So we learned them from who? From Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua, and from through the apostles of GMS. And you always got to claim that, man. You can't cut that off. You always got to give double honors to the elders that's ruling well. All right? And you got to know your master's crib, which is the house of David. And you got to know who it comes from, Yahushua. All right? From Yahweh. You got to know that, man. So you'll never give honor to the wrong people or take it to your damn self for selfish vain glory. All right? Let's get 1 Peter 4:7.
Son, 1 Peter 4:7.
14 already? Oh, let's go to 14.
14?
Yeah. No, he good. Right with.
Oh, I got first.
You got first?
Right.
Yeah. All right. 1 second on that first.
All right, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 22, verse 11. And when the king came to see the guests, he saw there a man which had not on a wedding garment. Verse 12, and he said unto him, friend, how camest thou in hither not having a wedding garment?
Right, that goes back into that parable again. Claiming to be an Israelite, you know, but not doing this thing rightly. Not having the breath. And also not being covered. You know, not teaching rightly, not going out and doing the work. You have nothing to cover your damn sins. All right, so when Yahushua shows up, he's not going to want to hear that. I was an elder. I used to be teaching back in the old school. Or I knew I was an Israelite, but I ain't go out and tell anybody. I still believe in you, though. You're not going to want to hear that, man. Go ahead.
And he was speechless. Verse
Right, you're going to be speechless in that day. You're going to have shit to say. Meaning, you got a lot to say right now. They're going to have a lot to say right now. But in that day, they're not going to have shit to say, man. They're going to be speechless. Every mouth going to be stopped. Go ahead.
Verse 13. And he said to the king's servant, bind him hand and foot, and take him away, and cast him into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Wow.
For many are called, but few are chosen.
So many are called. All right, that goes into the book of Ezekiel 37, the valley of dry bones. There's a lot of dry bones everywhere, you know. And he said what? The sinews came on the bones, and they began to stand up upon their feet, but they had no breath. You see that? So, you got a precept? Go ahead.
It's Isaiah chapter 52, verse 1. Awake, awake, put on thy strength, O Zion. Put on thy beautiful garments, O Jerusalem, the holy city. For henceforth there shall no more come unto thee the uncircumcised and unclean. Shake thyself from the dust, and arise and sit down, O Jerusalem. Loose thyself from the bands of thy neck, O captive daughter of Zion.
Right, so the Lord gave you the power to do so, man. He gave you the power to free yourself, man, and to free others. Loose yourselves from the bands of sin, from the bands of wickedness, man, and darkness. You know?
And it goes back to what you said earlier. Loose thyself from the yoke of this world and put on the yoke of Yahweh Shai.
That's right, man. He said, my yoke is easy, my burden is light.
Come.
I see a little bit of sun down there, too.
Me too.
We might, hey, a lot of sniffling, man.
Hey, don't be out down there trying to act tough. You cold, you cold. I'm cold.
All right, real quick, let me get that 1 Peter 4 and 7 first.
It's 1 Peter 4 and 7.
Yep.
But the end of all things is at hand.
So what? He said what? The end of all things is at hand, man. And that's the mindset to be in. The end of all things, basically all wickedness is at hand. All right? So keep that in mind. Go ahead.
Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer.
Right, man. Don't be caught up in the philosophies of this world and folly. Okay? And watch. Watch what's going on around the world and pray that the Lord protects you from the things that you see and the things you can't see. All right, go ahead.
And above all things, have fervent charity among yourselves.
Right, because he said what? Have fervent charity among yourselves. What's that? Amongst the vineyard. Amongst Israel again. All right, have charity. What's charity? Go ahead.
For charity shall cover the multitude of sins.
There you go. So the ones that don't do the work, they're not going to be covered. The Lord going to say, where's your garment? You're not covered. You see that? He said charity covers a multitude of sins. All right? And charity is basically doing this work and administering the Lord's Spirit the right way. All right? Let's get Matthew 13 and 47. All right? We probably can, I see them kids down there too, though.
13 and 47.
Yeah, you got it right here too. I mean, I'm good. I'm just
I got the jacket on, so I'm good. This is Matthew chapter 13, verse 47. 37, 47. Matthew 13 and 47. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a net that was cast into the sea and gathered every kind, which then it was full, they drew to shore and sat down and gathered the good unto the vessel, but cast the bad away.
Oh, there you go, right there. Hold on. Read that again. That's what I wanted.
All right, this is Matthew 13 and 47.
Right.
Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a net that is cast into the sea.
What did he say? He said gather. He's gonna gather a lot of people. All right, a bunch of people, all kinds, good and bad. But this is what he's gonna do. Let's get it.
All right, it says, and gathered of every kind, which when it was full, they drew to shore and sat down and gathered the good unto the vessel, but cast the bad away.
Right, it says they. So him and Yahushua and the angels are going to cast the bad away. We read that already? The sheep on the left and goats on the right?
What about the wheat and the tares?
Oh, no, we ain't getting the tares.
Yep, the reapers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we probably can get that.
Okay.
Yep. And so what did he say? He's going to draw them ashore And then he's going to what? Separate the good from the bad. And that's happening right now. The Lord is drawing everybody in, and now he's going to make his separations. Are the ones he's keeping and the ones that are reprobate silver. All right, that fugazi. You know, they look like silver, they look like Israelites, and they got the costume and the setup, but they have no works to show for it. All right? They have no righteousness to show for it.
I got you,
You got some?
Yeah, this is Songs of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 4. Draw me, we will run after thee. The king has brought me unto his chambers. We will be glad and rejoice in thee. We will remember thy love more than wine. The upright love thee.
There you go. There you go. The upright love thee. That's the parable of the 5 virgins, the 10 virgins. You know, 5 were wise and the other 5 is foolish as hell. And he said what? The upright, the ones that do it rightly, they love thee. And what does the word love represent? Order. They're doing it right. You see that? Okay, and he followed his commandments. That's love. Okay, yeah, Matthew, we read 13 and 47, all the way to 51. Matthew 13, 47 and 51.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 13. Chapter 13, verse 47.
Yep.
It says, again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a net that was cast into the sea and gathered of every kind,
Right. I'm going to go to 51 on this.
51.
which when it was full, they drew to shore and sat down and gathered the good into vessels, but cast the bad away. So shall it be at the end of the world. The angels shall come forth and sever
Yeah, sever.
the wicked from among the just.
Read that part again.
So shall it be at the end of the world.
We at the end of Esau's world. All right, let's get that. 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and 11.
Okay.
Real fast, we got to read that one again, man. There's some fire right here. All right, so shall it be at the end of the world. And we at the end of Esau's world, man. And the Lord said, I will be with you to the end of the world. All right, let's get it.
All right, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 9, verse 8.
Yeah,
And he said unto me from Abraham, no, 7.
yeah, okay.
It says, then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of times, or when shall the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth?
Right, so what's the end of what? Esau's time, the Greek and Roman Empire. When will that be over? And the European Union, NATO, and America, and all these damn setups that Esau has established around the world, and their system that they set up, and their paganism. When is that going to end? Go ahead.
It says, and he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
Right, man. That's it right there. All right, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. All right, that was all prophetic from Genesis 25. Let's get it, my bad, brother. Let's go back, right back into it. Boom.
This is the book of Matthew 13, verse 49. So it shall be at the end of the world, the angels shall come forth and sever the wicked from among the just.
There you go, man. So they're gonna come forth. They're gonna be sent forth, man, and they're gonna sever the wicked from among the just. Yahweh Shai gonna send them out. All right, and that's what's happening now with the sift. But eventually, the Lord gonna send His angels, and they're only gonna gather the elect. All right, same way the angels showed up, and it separated Elisha from Elijah. That's what's gonna happen out here. They're gonna be sitting there talking to somebody, and the other one's gonna get pushed away, and the other one's gonna get taken up to the chariot. Yeah, let's get that.
All right. This is Matthew 13 and 24. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat.
Right, and the field is the world. All right, the field represents the world, and the good seed represents Israel. Okay, go ahead.
And went his way. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also.
Right, when you look at a wheat and a tare, they both look the same when they're the youth. When they grow taller, that's when you can tell the difference. And now we're in the time of harvest to where you can tell the difference. See that? You can really tell now. You can tell who's who, what's what. All right? The paths have been walked. You can tell the slackers and the sluggers and the bullshitters. You know? And you can tell who Esau is. The mystery of iniquity has been revealed. All right? So now we're in the time of harvest. Everything is ripe and ready. And now you can tell. Go ahead.
So the servant of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, didst thou not sow good seed in thy field? From whence then hath it tares?
Right.
He said unto them, An enemy have done this. The servant said unto him, Wilt thou then that we go and gather them up?
Right, look at the Black Panthers. You want to free our people? Look at NARC, NFRC.
He got gathered up.
Yeah, he you know, he want to go kill everybody and fight everybody.
But he said, Nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them.
Right, you mess around and go think you killing an Edomite and you killing an Israelite. Or a Moabite and it's really an Israelite. What we at, 50%? Okay, go ahead.
Let both grow together until the harvest, and in the time of the harvest, I will say to the reapers, Gather ye together first the tares and bind them up in bundles to burn them,
Yep.
but gather the wheat unto my barn.
So that's happening right now, all the way up until the day of salvation. All right? And what? They're going to be gathered and numbered with the wicked. They're going to be destroyed and burned up, man. The ones that have fell off and not doing this work no more. But in the last day, they're going to try to stand up now. I'm an Israelite. I'm an elder this. Now you need to show up and just say, hey, I'm just an Israelite. You know, and just teach the milk doctrine. And a lot of them elders, they need to come up under Apostle Tahar. You know, or find the lowest person on the totem pole and put them old elders from the past that stopped teaching, put them under them. Put them under the new brothers in the camp. Make them learn the milk. All right. Anybody got precept? We still on that one?
Verse 50.
All right. I'm gonna try to get this one rocking and rolling.
All right.
I got a battery.
This is the book of Matthew.
Hey, can you hold that camera? Come. Just real quick. All right, go ahead, bro.
This is the book of Matthew 13, verse 50. And shall cast them into the furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth.
Right, so there's fire coming. There's gonna be wailing and gnashing of teeth. That means a lot of pain, a lot of resentment. All right, go ahead. A lot of suffering. That's it on that.
All the way to 51.
Yeah, 51.
Verse 51. Yahweh saith unto them, Have ye understood all these things? They say unto him, Yea, Lord. God, that's it.
All right, go ahead. You bring it up.
This is Sirach chapter 40, verse 16.
Yep.
It says, the weed growing upon every water and bank of a river shall be pulled up before all grass. So the weed that are growing upon every water and bank of a river, meaning these tares that were sown